I present to you my top 10 architectural visualization studios in the USA. Let's jump right in. Number 10. Metaform Plus. Metaform Plus sits in that polished North American luxury lane where ArchViz becomes part architecture, part hospitality branding, part aspiration. What jumps out first is the finish level. Their images are ultra clean, very refined, and clearly built for premium real estate presentation. Materials are immaculate, glass is glossy, stone and wood feel expensive, and the lighting is always flattering without tipping into chaos. Even when they go bright daylight, the scenes stay silky and controlled. Their strongest move is how they balance scale and lifestyle. On one side, you get tall towers, skyline views, rooftop pools, and that big city luxury language. On the other, they zoom into interiors with soft neutrals, warm timber ceilings, marble surfaces, curated furniture, and spa-like calm. So the work doesn't just sell a building, it sells a whole way of living. Composition-wise, they like clean symmetry, centered hero shots, and wide framings with clear focal points. A lot of the interiors feel staged like high-end hotel photography, while the exteriors lean into glamour, sunset skies, reflective water, lush landscaping, and dramatic amenity spaces. Overall, Metaform Plus has a visual language that is sleek, upscale, and highly market-aware. It's less about atmosphere in the poetic European sense, and more about desire, polish, and premium lifestyle storytelling. Number 9. LondonGray. LondonGray's visual language is sleek, polished, and experience-led. Their images don't just present architecture, they sell a whole atmosphere around it. What stands out first is the range. They move comfortably between high-end hospitality, branded amenity spaces, luxury interiors, and large-scale urban visuals. But the signature stays consistent. Glossy surfaces, clean geometry, and a strong sense of curated lifestyle. A lot of the images feel like luxury marketing campaigns translated into ArchViz. Their interiors lean into contrast and mood. You get dark lounges, dramatic lighting rings, reflective stone, rich wood finishes, and carefully staged furniture that feels premium without becoming chaotic. Even brighter spaces still have that same controlled editorial feel, with crisp lines, soft material palettes, and a strong attention to finish. On the architectural side, they often frame projects through aspiration and energy. Rooftop amenities, skyline views, elevated terraces, branded leisure spaces, and those big urban overviews all push the idea of access, status, and lifestyle. Even the more restrained exterior shots still feel polished and commercially sharp. My take: LondonGray is very good at making architecture feel desirable, stylish, confident, and clearly tuned to premium real estate, hospitality, and branded environments. Number 8. SHIMAHARA Visual. SHIMAHARA Visual sits right at that intersection of luxury real estate imagery and cinematic lifestyle storytelling. What stands out first is how polished the work feels. The images are glossy, high-end, and extremely controlled, but not sterile. They lean hard into premium atmosphere. Blue hour rooftops, warm interior glow, reflective glass, candlelight, city views, and those elegant hospitality-style spaces that feel designed to sell aspiration as much as architecture. Their compositions are very deliberate. A lot of the framing is frontal, balanced, and easy to read, with strong focal points and clean spatial hierarchy. When they go wide, the architecture stays clear, and when they move into interiors, they use furniture, lighting fixtures, and glazing almost like set design to create depth and luxury. They're also strong at mixing scales. One moment you get an urban aerial or a skyline tower shot, the next, it's a boutique lobby, a terrace at dusk, or an amenity space filled with mood and social energy. Even the lifestyle moments feel curated. People are there to activate the image, not distract from it. Overall, SHIMAHARA Visual's visual language is sleek, seductive, and highly market-aware. It's ArchViz that understands branding, not just buildings. Number 7. Steelblue. Steelblue has a visual language that feels made for high-end real estate marketing, but with enough atmosphere that it never slips into generic brochure CGI. What stands out first is how clearly they understand aspiration. Their images are polished, bright, and luxurious, but the luxury is always legible. You see it in the open waterfront living rooms, the glowing hospitality interiors, the tropical pool decks, and those blue-hour urban exteriors where the building becomes part of a lifestyle fantasy, not just an object. They're especially strong at activation. Retail, cafes, lobbies, courtyards, mixed-use plazas, there are often people in the scene, but they're not random entourage. They're there to sell energy, community, and value. The architecture feels occupied, social, and commercially alive. Composition-wise, Steelblue likes clean hero framing with very readable focal points. Materials are crisp, lighting is flattering, and color is pushed just enough to feel premium. When they go warm, it feels lush and resort-like. When they go cool, especially in city night shots, it feels sleek and metropolitan. Overall, Steelblue's style is confident, market-savvy, and highly sellable. It's ArchViz built to make people want the place before it even exists. Number 6. DBOX. DBOX is one of those names that sits in the foundation of modern ArchViz. They were founded in 1996, and Matthew Bannister is widely described as one of the key figures in the medium's evolution, which is why DBOX still has that almost legendary status in the scene. What defines their visual language is ambition plus polish. On the portfolio page, you immediately feel the scale: super talls, luxury residential, hospitality, civic mega projects, aerials, master plans, interiors, films. It's not just a collection of images, it's a blueprint for how high-end architectural storytelling has been presented for decades. Stylistically, DBOX lives in that premium zone between photography, cinema, and real estate myth-making. The images are sleek, atmospheric, and highly directed. They love dramatic skyline compositions, glossy dusk moods, luminous interiors, reflective surfaces, and that very controlled sense of aspiration where every frame feels expensive. But what makes them important is not only beauty, it's influence. A lot of what became standard in luxury ArchViz and property marketing, cinematic camera language, emotional lighting, VFX-inspired depth, helicopter-style aerial drama, DBOX helped push into the mainstream early on. So when people call DBOX legendary, it's not nostalgia. It's because they helped define the visual language the rest of the industry has been reacting to ever since. Number 5. Visualization One. Visualization One has that ultra-premium visual language where ArchViz starts to feel closer to luxury hospitality branding than straightforward property marketing. The portfolio is full of 5-star hotels, penthouses, branded residences, wellness spaces, and high-end urban exteriors, and the work is remarkably consistent across all of it. What really defines their style is polish plus atmosphere. They love elegant dusk scenes, warm interior glow, reflective surfaces, soft contrast, and materials that feel expensive without looking over-sharpened. Even from the project mix alone, you can see a clear obsession with curated lifestyle. Lobbies, spas, restaurants, bedrooms, terraces, bathrooms, pools. They're not just showing architecture, they're selling a complete experience. Composition-wise, the work feels very controlled and cinematic. Hero shots are readable, symmetrical when needed, and always designed around a clear focal point. And when they zoom into interiors or vignettes, the framing becomes more intimate and tactile, with a strong emphasis on mood, finish, and ambience. What I like is that they can move between scales without losing identity. One image might be a big skyline hotel or waterfront development. The next, a quiet bathroom, tea room, gym, or lounge, but it still feels like the same studio language: sleek, calm, and highly refined. Overall, Visualization One's visual language is luxurious, cinematic, and very brand-aware. It's ArchViz made to feel aspirational from the very first glance. Number 4. NOMINN. NOMINN is a Minneapolis-based visualization studio working primarily with architects and designers, and that really shows in the work. Their visual language feels rooted in atmosphere, landscape, and restraint. Even from the project mix alone, you can see a clear pattern: nature centers, resorts, residences, bridges, towers, a lot of architecture that sits close to landscape and materiality rather than flashy spectacle. That lines up perfectly with how they describe themselves, with roots in northern Minnesota and a focus on natural landscape integration, warm interior styling, and intricate design vignettes. What I like is that their identity doesn't feel generic at all. The work feels quiet, thoughtful, and deeply rooted in place. It's not ArchViz that tries to impress with tricks or visual noise. It's more about the air, the mood, and the relationship between building and setting. There's also a strong sense of restraint. A lot of the portfolio leans residential, hospitality, and retreat-like, which gives it a softer, more intimate camera language. Landscape never feels like background decoration. It feels like part of the architectural idea itself. And inside, there's real attention to warmth, detail, and small moments that make spaces feel lived in rather than staged. Overall, NOMINN's visual language is calm, tactile, regional, and mature. Quietly beautiful work with a strong architectural soul. Number 3. DN8. DN8 has a very clear, luxury-driven visual language, but what makes it work is the restraint. A lot of the portfolio lives in that premium residential and hospitality world. Marble kitchens, soft neutral lounges, spa-like pools, penthouses with skyline views, and calm, desert modern exteriors. But it never feels loud. The images are built around warm sunlight, elegant materials, and a very controlled palette of stone, dark wood, bronze, beige, and muted greenery. What stands out first is the atmosphere. They love that low-angle morning or late afternoon sun that stretches across floors, walls, and furniture and makes everything feel tactile. You get these long shadows, soft reflections, and a kind of golden stillness that instantly sells comfort and exclusivity. Composition is equally disciplined. The camera language is clean, balanced, and readable, often with strong frontal framing or carefully staged corner perspectives. Even the close-ups like kitchens, shelves, chandeliers, or furniture vignettes feel composed to emphasize material richness rather than just detail for detail's sake. And when they move outside, especially into those Dubai-style tower views and blue hour city scenes, they keep the same identity: polished, glamorous, but never chaotic. Overall, DN8's visual language is sleek, warm, and highly aspirational. It's luxury ArchViz with confidence, but also with real control. Number 2. Stage. Stage has a visual language that feels incredibly controlled, calm, and architectural. What stands out first is the restraint. The images are built around soft daylight, pale skies, neutral materials, and very clean compositions. There's no unnecessary drama, no heavy grading, no CG bravado. Instead, they let proportion, light, and material do the work. A lot of the architecture is minimal and modern, and the rendering style mirrors that perfectly. They're especially strong at balance. You see it in the frontal house elevations, the centered apartment towers, the calm pool scenes, and those interiors where stone, timber, linen, and glass are all handled with the same quiet precision. Even when they go luxurious, like beach houses or penthouse interiors, the mood stays elegant and understated rather than flashy. The camera language is also very disciplined. Most views are straight, grounded, and easy to read, with a lot of breathing room around the architecture, and when they shift to dusk or blue hour shots, they keep the same identity. Soft glow, clean silhouettes, and just enough atmosphere to make the image feel lived in. Overall, stage feels very mature. Their visual language is minimal, polished, and quietly confident. The kind of ArchViz that doesn't need to shout because the taste is already there. Number 1. Notion Workshop. Notion Workshop has one of the clearest artistic identities in contemporary ArchViz. They openly say they view architectural visualization as an art form in itself, and that they approach their work like photographers, capturing a space, a time of day, and a pattern of light and shadow. And honestly, that philosophy is all over the portfolio. What defines their visual language is atmosphere with intent. These are not images built around generic render polish. They're built around observation. A lot of their work feels like it's waiting for the exact moment when architecture, weather, landscape, and light all lock together. You see it in the ranch houses, cabins, mountain retreats, coastal homes, and garden paths. The air matters, the season matters. The image always feels tied to a specific place. They're also incredibly good at vignettes. And that's important, because for Notion, the story is rarely only in the hero exterior. It's in the quiet kitchen corner, the threshold, the material transition, the chair by the window, the little framed moment that makes the architecture feel inhabited before it exists. Their collaborators even call the vignettes powerful storytelling tools, and I completely get why. Another big strength is architectural fluency. It's clear that this is a studio with deep architecture and making knowledge, not just software skill. Daniel Temple is a licensed architect with experience at Olsen Kundig and Miller Hall, and that background seems to shape the whole process. Clients repeatedly say Notion gets it, understands architectural shorthand, and delivers first drafts that already move the design conversation forward. Overall, Notion Workshop's visual language is poetic, tactile, and deeply architectural. Less look at this render, more feel this place. And that's exactly why the work stays with you. Those were my top 10 ArchViz studios in the USA. If you want to discover more great studios around the world, follow the channel and check out ARCHVIZBASE.com, my curated database of more than 1,000 hand-picked ArchViz studios worldwide.